The next step we're going to work on after the legs are all sanded and cut to length and tapered and so forth, we need to cut the apron, that pieces that go between the legs to keep them straight. So the apron are just simply some flat pieces, and I only need 3 of them because the 4th side has a drawer, so we don't need one in the front. So we need one on the left, right, and back. Those pieces are going to be 14 inches by 4 inches. Now our rough length, we always add an inch, so make sure to set your upcut saw to 15. So I set right here, 15, start. And again, I went into the back and found this piece. Try to find the narrowest piece that will do the job. Most of the time my alder comes about 5.5 inches wide or so, give or take. Sometimes a little bigger, sometimes a little smaller. But I'm trying not to waste a ton of it. Rarely will it come over 8 inches wide to get a piece side by side so I can get 2. That just isn't going to happen very often. So try to find the narrower piece so I don't have as much scrap later on. It's at 15. Again, I have a factory end, so I need to cut off. I also see this giant knot here at the end. Since it's at the end, I'm just going to cut that off and cut from there. Get rid of the knot. And then 3 pieces, 15. Come back to the joiner and we're going to shave off the best edge of all 3. I'm only at this joiner because I want to show you that I've got more than just the yellow one that everybody uses. Back at the table saw, set it to 4 inches wide. We can go straight to our exact width on this and cut all the pieces, making sure that the good jointed edge is against the fence. Again, keep my left hand behind the guard here. Don't push here. I'm back to the chop saw, and I'm only on this one again to show you that I've got more than one chop saw that will do the job. Set it to 14. And on this, I'm going to zoom in here. You can barely see there's a tiny little hairline right there. You got to line that up, not the end of the plastic. The hairline right where you want it. 14 inches is right there. Tighten it down. And then again, trim off one end to get it square, then slide down to cut the other end off. So I'm cutting left-handed on this one. Then I slide down gently, and now I'm cutting right-handed on this one. You never want to have your arms crossed. Now we come to the planer. We've never used this before yet, so this is the first time. So I'm going to give you a little more detail than in the rest of the videos. On the planer, there has a crank on the side. The handle should almost always be on top, at the top of the peak. That puts it at exactly a 1/16 of an inch. Whichever 1/16 it is, it's at a 1/16. So it could be 5/16, 6/16, 7, and so forth. We always begin our planing at 14/16, which is 7/8 of an inch. So right here, if you look, there's this red paint, and we went through this in the safety demonstrations. The finger that goes out and tells you actually where you are needs to be at the bottom of that red paint. So I'm going to lower the table until I see the red paint stop. And there it is. Now where that red paint stops is actually 13/16, and I'm there right now, 13. That's our last cut. Our first cut is 14, so I need to go down one more turn. And when I do that, there will be a bit of a gap between the paint and the finger sticking out. You'll see some bare metal, some bare iron there. That's 14/16. So turn it on and run it through, making sure the dust collector's on. You can run them all through at the same time, and it's okay. So the blades are above the board. So I just shaved this side. So I'm going to flip and do it again. One full turn. And you want to go thinner. It says thinner right here on the side. They're already flipped. Run them again. Now when you turn it off, it's going to sound like it's still running because it takes forever to slow down. That's okay, just walk away, let it slow down. When you're done, you may see some little marks that the blades left. These will come out in our next area, the sander. Now here's the wide belt sander, and if this is the first time you're using it, remember that all of the instructions to run it are here written on the front. So if I'm not around or somebody can't show you what to do, just follow it. First, turn on the air supply. Here's the air supply right here. Follow it down, you'll see a handle, lift it vertical, up or down, doesn't matter. And you'll hear it start hissing. That means the air pressure's on. Next, lower the table to about 1 inch by holding the down arrow. So down arrow's right here. Hold it till the digital says about 1 inch. And I went a little over. That's okay, that's fine. Take one of your boards, place the board on the table and under the compression knob right here. So I put it right there and I should be able to let go and it's fine. Next, raise the table by holding the up arrow. So you got to push and hold. Now, when you get a close look, you'll see that there's a lot of wear and tear on that up arrow button. You may have to push and kind of push up and left. I don't know why, but you just got to push and hold it and it will stop itself. I'm still pushing it, but it stopped. And it stopped at 840. It should be somewhere in that range, 840, 830, somewhere. That set it. It's now set to just barely touch the top, all right? And now I'm gonna run it through. Now we turn on both green buttons in any order and run them through. Once they're through, I'm gonna tap. Now we go to tap the up arrow. We'll get to that in just a moment. And like the planer, you can run them all at the same time. Now, if you remember those marks that were on there before, they're pretty much gone. I still see a little tiny line here, so I'm gonna keep going until I get it. And yes, we need to do both sides. So tap. When I tap, you'll see a little tiny light, an LED light turn on in the upper left corner. If you don't see that light turn on for a moment, it means you didn't hit the button. It didn't sense it. So tap it again. So we gotta see that light. The table will drop down and then rise back up, subtracting 5/1000ths of an inch. So keep an eye on that, make sure it's right. Do not hold the button or you'll go way too high. Now I'm gonna flip and do the other side and continue to go back and forth until I'm happy with the result. Again, these came out and I still see some lines from the planer, so I'm just gonna keep going.